Joining me now to discuss this and more, Lincoln Parker, my security and defence expert. Great to see you.
G'day, Erin.
Link, I love compliments. I'm in television, I'm deeply insecure, I have a healthy ego. This is one that I'd pass on.
Look, it's really bad. It looks terrible and it appears to the public, and look, I don't know if this is true, but it could be, it appears as though the Chinese Communist Party are pulling the strings like a puppet master, making our Prime Minister dance to their tune when our Prime Minister ought to be dancing to the Australian people's tune and doing what is right for Australia as opposed to what is right for Communist China and Xi Jinping. And he's just been called out and given this accolade by the world's largest dictator, showing him up essentially for being, what it looks like a puppet.
Bullies don't like to work with people who push back, who stand up, who don't accept their behaviour. They love working with people who do. And I'll leave it there. Solomon Islands, I cannot believe what I'm reading.
Oh, it's just shocking, and we've been talking about this for years. And now, thanks to Prime Minister Albanese and Foreign Minister Penny Wong, the Pacific Islands are infested with Chinese communists and their influence and their control over many governments, but even down to provincial governments like the largest province in Solomon Islands being Malaita, which was headed up by a man that I have met and whom I know, Daniel Sudani. I mean, he's been imprisoned. And now we have left him swinging in the wind. We're not even allowing him to meet with the Australian High Commissioner in the Solomon Islands. I just don't understand what we are doing. It is a disaster. And this is something that, remember, the Prime Minister and Penny Wong said prior to the last election that they would fix. Not only have they not fixed it, but they have put their accelerator on hard to make it even worse, and our national security is affected even more worse than it was before.
A couple of things. The current government attacked the former government mercilessly on this very issue in the Solomon Islands, accused them of dropping the ball, etc., etc. And we saw a vision at the start of the show of Albanese with President Prabowo, the new Indonesian president. And just like cancelled meetings, refusing to meet up, etc., we didn't go to the inauguration. A week out, the Indonesian press was still under the impression that Albanese was going to be there. It's just little things that say to people, you don't matter enough to us to get it right, to show you some respect.
And I'd like to give a shout out to the US Congress China Select Committee, that if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't even know about what's going on in the Solomon Islands. It was them that called it out because the Australian government has been silent.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was talking to a couple of people who are heavily involved in the US in the national security sphere, and one of them made the remark that they're meant to rely on Australia for intel-info relationships in the Pacific, and it's not going so well now. And I said, yeah, thanks, Scoop. What else is going on? Anything? What is your reaction? I wanted to ask you to some of the appointments that Trump has announced.
Well, look, I know that the left-wing media and the legacy media are making a lot of it, but certainly Pete Hegseth to head up Secretary of Defence is a fantastic choice. He's he's a combat veteran. He's got 2 Bronze Stars. He's highly intelligent, was educated at Princeton and Harvard. And
wrote a great book about eliminating wokeness out of the military, which,
totally.
That alone.
Well, totally. So he's going to make the military, the US military, solely based on merit, which is exactly what we should be doing in Australia, which we haven't done, which we're not doing. So I think he's a great appointment. And then Tulsi Gabbard, Director of National Intelligence, another great pick. So I think he's making all the right moves because he's been given a mandate to make significant change because people are sick and tired of woke and weak leaders.
It's the end of it. Let's hope. Let's hope. Link, brilliant. Thank you so very much.